Hello, this instructional video will take you through the software and network configuration of your Insight system. This is following your hardware configuration or connection. So your hardware connection has already been done. Your system is powered up. All your wires to your camera and to your alarm system are already connected. The first step in setting up the Insight system to be able to access it from external sources such as your app or through your Babyware off-site is to configure your network settings. For your network settings, you need to check your IP address of your router. The default router IP address is 192.168.1.1. You may need to enter a password first before you get to this page, or in my case, I need to enter my password at a later date. What I will be showing you here is the recommended way that I usually do it with the DHCP reservation or IP address binding, which allows you to leave your DHCP enabled in your camera, and your router will always be reassigning the same IP address. The other way is to program your system or your HD77 with a static IP address and then port forward to that IP address. Both ways are good. I just prefer doing it myself through the reserving IP addresses. So I'll take you through the steps. To be able to do this, the first thing you need is your MAC address of your actual camera. If you have camera and your IP150, if you're using an IP150, and to be able to do this, this information is either available directly on the hardware, or you can view it through your Babyware or IP exploring tools. So your MAC address, you will type in to this location here. I've already typed them in once, so it's kept it in memory, but you may have to type it out. You will have to type it out completely. Host name is just basically a name you want to give it in your list of reservations, so you know which one's which. Then you assign it to an IP address. The IP address is either something specific your network administrator will give you, or it will be something you can decide on at a later date. Anytime you do any modifications, make sure you save them. I will be doing 2 reservations right here because I have a IP150 and an HD77. For the demonstration, I'm only using one HD77, but you may have up to 5 HD77s on your site. So as you see, I'm just typing in my IP address and my MAC address directly. MAC address, IP address, host name, and in my case, my router case, it's asking for release time. This router has a peculiarity that I need to actually press save and not add. If I do this, it will erase the information. Okay. Now that I've reserved my specific IP addresses here, I can go on and do my port forwarding. Again, the information for your specific router could be different from what I'm showing here. So the best way to do it is go onto the internet and type in your manufacturer of router and port forwarding, and there's usually a step-by-step information that will tell you exactly how to do your port forwarding. In this case here, I need to put an application name whether you're using TCP or UDP. Use both if you can. In some routers, you may have to create two different rules. So here's the port you want to give your IP150 or HD77 in this case. I will be, for this first one here is my HD77. Again, it's a port that will either be given to you by your administrator or something that you will decide on by yourself. Put in the IP address I need, and the port you're redirecting to it is the same one that you put on the external port. Now I'm just creating a second rule for my second device. And saving all that information. From this point on, the router configuration is completed. So I will be shutting down my router configuration, and I will be going into my babyware to configure the rest of the system. Once you've installed the babyware, you'll be able to log in by using the default password, which is 1234, or whatever password you have created. When creating a new account, press on Add, type in a label here. This label is for your own bookkeeping purposes, so whatever you wish to put in here, it could be the client's name, client address, whatever you need to be able to find it easily in the future. Two options, either auto detect, this will detect the panel automatically, or use Evo HD in the case of the Insight system. For your connection options, you select, by pressing on the three buttons, allows you to select your different IP address and connection type. In this case, we're using IP. By pressing on the locate button, which what looks like the magnifying glass, the system will search your network and find your different devices. You select it, press on OK, and it will bring all the information directly into your system. IP module password by default is Paradox. If you have changed it, you will need to put in whatever you have changed it to. By pressing on connect will allow me to connect to the system and get into the configuration portion. The system automatically updates any programming, so if you have any programming in your panel, it will automatically bring it into the software. The Evo HD programming, you simply double click on the Evo HD to view any programming you need to do directly in each of your different categories. You'll be able to go and program your different devices. If we wish to add the the HD77 to a zone, I'll just simply click on the drop down here, scroll down until I find my HD77, select it. This will put all the information I need in for my zone 1, decide what zone type I wish to have it, and my zone is programmed. I have various different options here that you will be able to add depending on what you need your zone to achieve. Anything that's been programmed but has not been sent down to the panel will show in red. Once it's sent down, it will go to the same color as everything else. Pressing OK here, you'll see the send start flashing. This means that you have new information that has not been transferred to the panel. When you press send, you will see all your different information you can send down to the panel that is new. Press OK to exit the screen. Okay, now we're ready to configure the HD77 itself. There's two ways to access the programming: right click, selecting properties, or double clicking on the actual HD77. The first three pieces of information you see here is your PIR parameters. So the first one here is, do you want to see the LED, the red LED, turn on anytime somebody walks in front of the motion detector? PIR sensitivity, the higher the sensitivity, the easier it is for your motion detector to trigger. PIR security level, the higher the security, the more interference it will take before it actually triggers the PIR itself. On this screen, other things you'll notice, down here, you'll see online, this is your bus communication with your HD77. So this means your bus is communicating properly to your HD77. And here, this is your network configuration. This case here, it's telling me that I'm online through the LAN, so the local area network, with this IP address on this port. You also have the possibility of being Paradox My Home. If you're connecting from an external source, you'll see the Paradox My Home in green. Tells you whether you're registered or not for reporting, and whether your Paradox My Home is registered or not. In the configuration window, this configuration here allows you to add information to your camera for your end user to access directly from the Insight app. So your email address, telephone number, and name, so the end user can easily find the information in their app without having to rifle through any papers. Central monitoring station parameters. This is just a telephone number for your client to be able to access or call the central monitoring station if they need to. This option here enables or disables reporting, but when I enable reporting, I would put my IP address, receiver port, receiver password, account number, and your profile to allow you to register to the IPRS-7. Anytime I do any changes on this page, you'll see my right button turn on or start flashing red. That means there's information to be transferred to the camera. HTTP port is the port you need to configure for your port forwarding. When we've registered the port forwarding, we decided that this camera would be on port 10,500 instead of the port 80 that it is originally. DHCP enabled. I will leave it on in my case because because we've set the router up to automatically give a specific IP address anytime it boots up, so we'll be always giving the same IP address. If you want to use a static IP, you remove this checkbox and type in your static IP in here. If your router has UPnP, you'll activate this option, so this universal plug and play, so all the information about the port and the IP address will be automatically assigned by the router. Instead of having to go through all this configuration, the router does everything for you. If you wish to use Paradox My Home, you'll need to activate the polling Paradox My Home. This will have the camera send off its polling to the Paradox My Home every 3 minutes and allow the Paradox My Home to always know your current IP address. Once finished, click on Write Programming. This will write all my programming to my camera. Register to Paradox My Home or to the IP receiver, I press my Register button. Here, by selecting Register to Paradox My Home, I will type in my Paradox My Home login password, username and password. The username is a email address, and the password is whatever you configured in Paradox My Home. Site ID is an ID that will let your client be able to easily connect to his site. So the site ID you should give him is something that is easily recognizable by him, whether it be his last name with Insight after it, or his last name, camera, something that allows the end user to easily identify. So it would be best to get this information off him. I'm just putting in some information that I know is correct. Now it will come up saying that I've successfully registered and what its site ID name is. For updating the device, I will click on update. What I'll see here is all the current cameras I have on my site. I will see my serial number of the different devices, whether it's online or offline, your current version, and the version that is the latest version available on our website. To update from here, I just simply press update, and the update process will start, and it will let you know once it has finished the update. The update can take anywhere to 10 minutes, depending on how many cameras you have on site and your internet connection. Other information you have on this page is you can click on the video. By clicking on the video, you can actually go and view what's happening in the actual camera to see if your camera angle is good, see if it's pointing in the right direction, or simply just to connect to verify your connection. Stop button here. I can log video streaming. I have my volume control up here. Over here I have my communication settings. This allows me to decide whether I want to connect static or through Paradox My Home, or allow the system to detect by itself. It also allows you to refresh your IP information if you have trouble connecting to the camera, or you change your IP information. You can easily click on here, refresh, and see what's happening. At the top here I have a save button. I have an import button. What this allows me to import IP receiver settings. So on the programming page under IP receiver, instead of having to retype them all, if I've already typed them all in for my IP150, I just click on the import receiver information for IP receiver 1, and it will automatically bring it in. I can also import module programming. If I've already done all the programming on another HD77, I can automatically import it without having to reprogram everything. So once this is done, your camera is set up and you are ready to connect through your Paradox My Home from your Insight app. Thank you and have a good day.